Hello again, and welcome back to Floor Planner. My name is Bob, and as I always say, I'm here for customer success, here for you all. And we are here with this video to go ahead and share the new updates that came into your Floor Planner platform last month. The month of March 2022. I think we've got about 4 that we're going to go over today. Let me show you where to find those lists of updates as they go live. Of course, you can follow follow Floor Planner on Twitter, where we will post them and tweets. Yet when you're on your platform, if you go to the upper left-hand corner, you've got your profile tab up here, and here's my profile, which gives me my right-hand sidebar. In my right-hand sidebar, you will notice that we have the new features right here. These are these new tools that we're talking about. If you hit the More button right here, it will take you to this link. And inside this link, you will go ahead and see all of the updates that have occurred. We're going to go backtrack a little bit because you can go back in history here and actually view them and go back and maybe see something you might have missed before. I think it'd be inspired. The programmers have been awesome in making these really nice video clips for you so they can explain what has actually gone live in your platform. And yet you also have these recordings. So I can show you actually how to use them. So we've talked about the last go round, our last recording, introducing the floor scanner. Awesome. I hope you had a chance to take a peek at that. Today, we're going to look at the debug menu. Then we're also going to look at 2D image, 3D plan conversion. Interesting. And then DXF export for those of us that have used other file formats to transfer files from different platforms. So now you can take your floor planner model that you create and you can export it as a 2D DXF vector file to share with other platforms. And then we're going to wrap this up with the thresholds, these openings between rooms that have a threshold on their bottom that has always been white. Now you can put a material on it. So again, it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. So let's start with taking a peek at the debug menu. We've got a debug menu to view settings. This menu allows you to locate and select any room, surface, or item in your plan so you can edit or delete it. I've seen some people having a little difficulty because we can build rooms and we can build surfaces. And sometimes we have a surface on a surface and maybe selection and grabbing it. You have a little trick time trying to do that. This is kind of cool as a debugging. If you're having some difficulty for some reason, you can actually identify those spaces, surfaces, items easier. Maybe again, if you're having trouble grasping them, then you can make your edits accordingly. So it gives you a better power to select, if you will. So let's go ahead and take a peek at this. I'm going to go ahead and hop into Floor Planner under my account for a second and go into my projects. And I think I just have a little demo running out here. Kind of simple plan. We'll just open this up. Little project. Okay, so I tried to make something, a couple complex issues and like surfaces for grass, a couple different rooms. And then I got a little fancy and started putting a few surfaces on top of the surface to do like stepping stones and pavers, just to tease with it a little bit. So here's, maybe I'm having trouble selecting or touching these items. So I'm in my 2D view currently, 2D. And you have, of course, your settings tab right here. Every time you see a gear inside Floor Planner, it takes you to additional settings. So if I select that gear up there, we have our general settings for 2D. We've got our furniture settings, our lighting settings, our text settings, our dimension settings, and the infamous new debug, a bug. So select your bug, which is now your debug. And look, you can select surfaces, areas, items, And you can also hop between the WebGL and Canvas. So it depends on what you're trying to achieve or what the challenge is that you may be facing at the moment. This will probably assist you. Taking a quick peek, like, selecting surfaces, you can go ahead and start advancing as to what surfaces it's actually selecting. And as I noted, maybe you had difficulty selecting the surface on a surface. But this helps you out for sure. And you are obviously in the left-hand sidebar, obviously selecting what you have over here, selecting different areas. I have a couple areas in here, currently the living room, and there's your kitchen. And then there's a select items that you can select. And there's also a little contact support tab down here also. So if you're having some difficulties, so we're trying to give you some more power, maybe to resolve issues that if you have any little tweaks out there. I haven't had a whole lot of use for this for myself. I've been able to figure most of these items out, but if this assists you, it is available to you through your 2D settings tab right here. That's your debug features. So let's see what we have next. I want to talk about, let's hop back and take a peek at that real quick. Debug, okay, dokie, 2D image to 3D plan conversion. So we've added another useful integration with one of our partners, Velour. The service allows you to upload an image, JPEG or PNG, of a floor plan. Well, we've done this also before. We've scaled those and used those to trace over top of. But the cool thing with Velour as a partner out there, you now have the ability to go ahead and actually convert that JPEG image in JPEG or PNG image into the 3D model. So let me show you how this works. This is each accepted conversion will cost a one-time fee of 2 credits. So this is in addition to the model that you're creating, of course. So I'm going to go ahead. I've gone ahead and just searched for a nice clean PNG image. Again, PNG or JPEG image that you're going to go ahead and place into your model, similar to everything we've done before to trace. But then we're going to use this new conversion to show you how to modify this real quick. So let's go back into my platform again. Let me get out of this project for a second, save that out there, go back to my home page. And I already ran this through once, but let's go ahead and go for my image conversion right here. Blank file. And we'll start with an empty plan. Now, with an empty plan, similar to what we've done before, we're going to go ahead and trace like we were going to be prepared to trace a background. So if you go to the hammer and go down to background settings to choose a file, a JPEG or PNG image of a floor plan. I'm going to add a little extra side note on this. Try to have this as a nice, clean file. No strange sort of colorization or gray tones inside of it. As crisp as possible. It does make a difference for the conversion itself. So let's just say choose a file. And I'm going to be looking at my desktop, and I have it right here as a little test. Yeah, I have had mine just as a PNG. It could be a JPEG. Say open. And of course, we know the little circle goes around right here, and it inserts itself into the plan, just like we've shown before. Now, again, like with any background that we've inserted, we want to scale this to real world scale. So it's not anything different at this point. So since we do have a dimension line on here, I can see right here, this is supposed to be 32 feet from point to point, or 34 feet from point to point down here, or if there's another dimension that you can actually assert from a drywall surface to another, saying it's 15 feet. You just need one point to a second point. Now, from point to point, I'm going to take this 32-foot line right up here and say I'm going to set the scale of the plan image because I want to make this real world scale 1:1. And it says go ahead and click on the canvas to draw, meaning that it wants you to click on this intersection point right here as one point and go as parallel across the way and go ahead and select on the next point right there. Second point, point to point, tell it what it should be, 32 feet, 32 feet, hit enter, and it's rescaled the background to real world scale. Now I'm going to go ahead and step out of here just for a second, save the file, and I just want to verify some of these dimensions. So you can always take this dimension tab down here in the lower left-hand corner, this little tape measure, and left click, and you can just start measuring out these points and just make sure that your dimensions truly are falling into order as you expected them to be. You can proof a couple other dimensions just to make sure everything's a-okay. I think we're fine with this. So it is scaled to real world scale. Again, this is the same thing we've trained before, you know, how to do this, and that you could do space planning right on top of this plan with your furniture, send it out as a two-dimensional document. Great. You could start tracing your individual walls on here. But this is where this new feature comes into play. And this is for the blur. So to do so, we're going to go ahead and go back for a second. And in the background settings tab, here is the auto convert a plan with blur. It's going to be cost effective here, right? 2 credits to do this. And if I go ahead and I've already rescaled this background, say convert, and I hit convert, and it's converting at this moment. And it's trying to read this nice plan, nice, clean, crisp plan, and convert it into a floor planner model in 3D, no less. And it has, you can actually see what the assumptions were that it made. It's actually placed windows, it's placed doors, it's placed the walls, etc. Had a little difficulty down here. You know, again, this is where the clarity of the plan is pretty important. You can always make these modifications later, but you want this whole conversion to take as much do as much for you as possible. But I mean, I can see the doors overlapping down here, so it had a little bit of a maybe slight state of confusion, didn't know which was which, and who could blame them? So any such, it looks nice and clean. I'm very happy with this. So I'm going to go ahead and yes, for the 2 credit deduction that it's going to be, I'm going to hit the accept button over here at this point. And now that I've accepted it, it's successful. Great. Look at my back button for a second. And hit my save button out there. And the cool thing is, I haven't traced any walls, but the conversion factor did. And if I go out to 3D at this point, we can take a peek at what just got created. I didn't build this. This is all built automatically. So this is the beauty, you know, how wonderful is that? The only thing that I think I was missing in there, I have that little one door that had to be added here. And I think there was some pocket doors over here, but they weren't really defined in my plan into any wall. So the conversion didn't know what to do with them. So be conscious of, you know, those little things that if they're not defined well in the plan, you'll have to go back and make a couple edits to it. But this is a lot of work done in one conversion, all in one step. I think that is awesome. Let's go back into 2D just for a second, because you may have the question, you know, what about the ceiling heights? I mean, there's some assumptions that were made. So if I select the wall over here, and I go to settings, and it has gone ahead and assumed 9 feet, 2¼ inch in height. Maybe these are actually 10-foot high ceilings. If you hold your shift key over top of your model, shift and left click and select the entire room with the selection window, you certainly can go ahead and change the wall height right here and make it to be exactly the dimension you want to. Maybe I'm gonna make them 10 foot high. So you can still, you know, continuously keep working and building on this, but it's done. So now they're 10 foot high ceilings. But it's done so much work for you. This is, I think, really awesome. So I hope you have a chance to explore that for sure. Let's talk about a DXF export. Where is that listed? Take a peek. So there we go. DXF export. You can now export your floor planner projects. This is your basic walls, doors, windows, as a 2D document, as a 2D DXF file. So those of you that are familiar with DXF, as I am, working with other software, especially like Autodesk products and AutoCAD, DXF was a big communicator. between those files for conversion of DWGs, DXFs, etc. So now Floor Planner has an option out there so that through the share function, you can go ahead and as a level 2 project or higher, go ahead and export your project. So let me show you where to find that. Let's go back to our home page. And if I was going to go ahead and maybe select maybe the demo that we had right here, I'm going to left click on the project once, left click on it once, left-hand sidebar tells you all about that particular project. And there is a share tab over here in the left-hand side. And inside the share tab, scroll down to where the quick export is down here at the bottom, JPEG, PNG, PDF, something new, DXF. So if you select the DXF, landscape, and we're going to go ahead and not include the FML, which is just another duplicate of a file, which is for the floor planner format. But I'm really just looking for the DXF at this point. I can put a scale bar on there or not. But the DXF is what I'm really concerned about, and go ahead and send this out for export. Successfully been sent out, and it's going to send me an email when it's complete. The time on this is really fast because I just did this before recording this currently, and it already sent me a verification, and it's right here in my email. So I'll show you what it looks like. So when it is complete, the email comes to you like so. It says, hey, your 2D export is ready. Actually, I just got notification that another one of these just came through. So that's how fast it is. And if you just click here, it will actually download it to the device you're on, like right down here. And I already dragged one over here. So you have a DXF file. And from there, depending on what other softwares accept DXF for importing and such, you have a converted 2-dimensional plan of your model. It's not a 3-dimensional. It's a DXF vector format of your 2D plan. Extremely powerful, depending on what other programs you're converting or trying to transfer your floor planner model to another platform to be working with. And let's take a look again at our updates and continue. And change material for thresholds. Yeah, okay, so openings like between rooms. So let's go back into my models one more time. And let's go ahead and open up my demo that we created right here. Double click to open up my project. And I have no connection right now between my kitchen and my living room. You have to go outside to get back inside. So let's say that you, again, want to go ahead and open up the space between these two. So let's go to our hammer and let's go ahead and place a door. And in place doors, there's a tab down here for entryways, basically a door without a door. It is an opening. You can also see this in 2D. And it's a little bit more evident because if you're familiar with the architectural symbols, the double dash, again, is the fact that it is an opening in the wall. So either in 2D or know where it is in 3D. I always look for my revolving doors here and look 2 spaces down and it's right there. There's also one with an archway over here. But I would take this one with a square entryway, drag and drop, it snaps into the wall all by itself. Of course, I can left click on that opening and I can go over here to its settings on the left-hand side and I could change its height. I'm working with a 10-foot high ceiling, so maybe I'm going to make it a 9-foot high opening. So I have like a 1-foot soffit up above. I could change a physical numeric value over here on its opening, or I could just go ahead and open up the space over here. So let's go ahead and hit save on that. Let's go into our 3D model in the upper right-hand corner. Take a look at what we built. You can see there's an opening inside there. And if I go inside my room for a second and back up, what I wanted to show you is that, in fact, there is a threshold right there. And it is white currently. So here's the fun part about this opening is that that threshold can now have a material applied to it, which will show in 3D. It won't show in 2D. So I can go ahead and select the opening the entryway that we just created. And notice that we can go over here and now you have a new tab on the left-hand sidebar for the door threshold unnamed. I can open that up and I could go ahead and pick a paint color of any paints that I want to. I can even do a custom color up here. If you have the company name that you did a search for on like Google searching, to try to find the hex number of a special custom color that Floor Planner would then mix if you have the hex number according. Materials, certainly we can go out here and look for our materials and finishes. And we could go ahead and apply, this was the Nordic Ash right here. So if I want Nordic Ash to be the threshold material on this opening, I can just select it and it's assigned it to that opening. And let's go ahead and go back into 3D, take a peek. And sure enough, there it is. You can see right down there that we've now applied, instead of having a white threshold down there, there is now the Nordic Ash threshold right on top. So these were 4 awesome updates for the past month. Starting out there with the debug menu, of course, and then we had the 2D image to the 3D plan conversion, the DXF export, and also the change material thresholds. And hope that's given you some great new insight and some inspiration. Please explore those and keep your eyes open for future updates. There's a lot more yet to come, and I'll continue sharing them with you on a monthly basis. Hope you have a great day. Catch you on the next time. Thank you.